Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Lego Indiana Jones, the original trilogy. So we've got now to the point where all the effects are off, and take note the depth of field is blacked out because we came in here and turned off enhanced graphics. So either this is going to stop the lagginess at 1080p, which hopefully it would, and if it does, that means I could potentially go back and at least turn on FSAA, Shadows and Bloom, or our next thing will be to turn the texture quality to low, which again probably won't fix it. Refresh rate can't be changed, at least inside the game, and therefore the next thing we would have to do is just turn it down to 800 by 600, which is probably where we're going to end up here. But let's hop into the game itself, as we're still trying to bug fix. It's not a fun experience to go through the first hour and a half, the first hour, the first even 10 minutes of a game, and have to try and fix the settings of a game to keep it from locking up and lagging, which is never acceptable at any point. Even if somebody had a really weak computer, they should be able to tell you, look, this settings you're choosing is not for you. Your computer is not strong enough for this. We will let you do it, but we don't recommend it instant. Recommend for it. It shouldn't just be by default you start the game and it's at the lowest resolution possible. It's not even at a widescreen setting, because that's how this game launches immediately, is it's in the lowest resolution. And see, immediately we have a lockup. So it's not enhanced graphics, obviously. Also, it's only been about 2 minutes since I started the program. Also, so it's not particularly a instance of the computer is filling up the RAM, the computer is filling up the video RAM. If it is, it's doing it instantly. If anything, I think Lego Indiana Jones in particular has finally explained to me what's going on here, in the idea that the graphics engine and the physics engine seem to be connected. And so anytime you do anything physically taxing for like the CPU, which shouldn't be a problem for my CPU at all, or my computer is way more powerful than what is actually necessary to run this. But anytime it gets to doing anything physical, I think it is lagging the graphics. And it's lagging the graphics in an amazingly large way. That's the amount of lagging here is extremely high. It's not like a half-second freeze. It's not like they could just drop one frame. When it locks up, you are locked up for 3, 4, 5 seconds, 20 seconds. Even, I wouldn't go much higher than that. Let's see. What if I stand under this thing? I'm clearly under it. It just pushes me out of the way. That's nice. At least that works. This area looks a little bit like an area in Star Wars. Kind of unsurprisingly, actually. So they've introduced this new mechanic that you can throw things to the monkeys, and you can throw a banana to the monkey, and the monkeys will trade you an item. But first we have to take out these guys. What's funny about this scene is, I believe the scene we're playing right now doesn't actually occur in the movie. I'm pretty sure about that. But also, I think it takes place after about a 10-minute scene of conversation that does take place in the movie and not in the game. It's just because this is one of these old Lego games that didn't have dialogue. So if this game had been made later on, when they made the decision to go to the dialogue and minifigs talking, you would have probably seen a 10-minute scene of conversation. Maybe they would have tried to, they almost certainly would have tried to cut it down for kids, because that's a way too long of an experience but so let's put these apples back up. I have to wait till the banana disappears and then reappears. Come over here. And I'm supposed to throw it, but it has to have the thing. So I just threw the banana right through the area, and he just threw the banana, the shovel, right where. Alright. So let's try that again. That glitched completely. It's another clear example of the game glitching, and that shouldn't have happened at all. Either the shovel should have magically flown into my hand always, or he should have just thrown it specifically on the ground, like right here, always. Either one would have worked fine. And I just destroyed that, so that item didn't matter. And here's glass that... Now, what's interesting is this girl can't break glass, but the other one can, because the other girl in her movie actually screamed, and I don't think this one did. And most of these people are just people on the street, so only some of them are bad guys. Which is exactly, I guess, how it was in the movie too, is they were in this busy marketplace, and it wasn't like everybody in the entire country was after him. Suppose you have to be kind of careful about that. They didn't really do too much of not vilifying the German people, but also the only people we even see, and the only times we are in Germany in the Indiana Jones movies, are Nazi people, so I guess that kind of is a double-edged sword. Almost made it that far, and I assume that's what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I'm supposed to push this to make a platform. Yeah, that would make it easier. Kind of an empty place. We don't have infinite spawning characters. But again, we're having this same issue. Like, clearly physical bug. She should be able to jump back up here, and it's just not happening. It's just not, like, she's several inches shorter than where she should be. And so that whole section of gameplay there was made more difficult than it was intended to be. So I would like to see the game lock up one more time before I lower the resolution, but I've already kind of seen that we need to lower the resolution because that's where we are, right? Like, we're at low texture quality. The next thing that we can even change is the resolution, and maybe we can do 800 by 600 and stretch it out to a 16 by 9 resolution. That's not the greatest thing you could possibly solve the problem with. I mean, it's not a great solution, but it's might be better than just having black bars on the edges. We'll see if we can even do it. The real thing though is when I change the resolution, it's probably gonna make me reset the game too. So we'll have to once again reset. This looks like a place where we might have an infinitely spawning amount of enemies. Let's go ahead and pick up this gun. And the thing that I like about the guns, and maybe it hurts playing a Lego level a little bit, is the idea that you can from long distance break all the Lego things. So I would prefer, as a player of the games, I prefer the ability to just shoot guns non-stop towards everything. But then I guess if you're not near items and you break them, you don't pick up the studs. And then you, if that stuff's being of interest to you, then you then have broken the entire economy of the game. Because if you don't want to collect studs in a Lego game, you might as well not play a Lego game. A lot of stuff on tables to break. Have to use these orange handles, which the orange handle concept gets used and explained visually better in future Lego games. You start to see bright, larger orange handles that often require super powerful and extra large characters. Can't get to the silver things. So this whole area, there we go, we've had the lockup. What's funny is when I put a new input, it does seem to skip to the next frame. It's almost as if it is permanently locked up and it needs you to push something else. Like, let's see, the open that has to be in free play. So then the question is, can we go to 800 by 600 at 16 by 9? Video settings, 16 by 9, 16 by 10, 4 by 3. We'll leave everything at this for a second. This is clearly not 16 by 9 ratio in people's heads. Let's see. So 16 by 9, let's see what it means when you get it from the screen resolution. Nothing. 4 by 3. Let's see what, that doesn't change it at all either. So it's not just you, there's black bars on the side. Maybe, so the option then just stops happening, stops working. So we are now to the point with all the things turned off and we're at an unacceptably low resolution. maybe if I got it up to 720 as a resolution, we could get it at least to get rid of the black bars. I suppose that would be our next attempt. It's like 720 here would not be a terrible resolution to use. At the very least, that's widescreen. Right, did we get all of that set? I'm sorry to sit here and mess with all this settings, but this is exactly what you would have to do. 720p, which is what you're going to get out of a PC, is not the worst idea in the world. It's not as bad as 800 by 600. It's at least gets rid of the black bars. I don't know if the game feels slow now though. Feels like a little unresponsive. Like, and that seems strange in itself. There's no reason why 720 or 800 by 600 should feel less responsive. So I'd clearly want to reset the game. But even at 720 here, we're having a lockup. Yeah, even at 720, a lockup. So that's not good enough even. I mean, you're getting a lockup even in the middle of the menu. And I don't have vertical sync on, but vertical sync shouldn't be an issue. See, I see no reason. Aspect ratio should change. Let's see. Current things. What are the defaults if I just say reset the defaults? You must restart the game to take these effects because this has you at 1024 by 768 with texture quality high and enhanced graphics. But that's the default of the game. So maybe 800 by 600 is not even acceptable. Maybe you have to have it at the default setting. Well, right now I don't have it at the default setting though. Man, I'm just going back right. Yeah. I suppose we'll try it as it is, and then I'll have to reset the game for the next recording, and then we'll try it at the defaults. This also, to just point out, probably turned all of the effects back on when it resets too. So this is exploding already, so I need to throw it. Seems like that fuse was infinite. Sure would be nice if we could just focus on the game. There's not a ton of game happening here. We're running around sections in areas of Istanbul, I think. This might be one of those Middle Eastern places that doesn't exist in any noticeable fashion the way it did when this movie was made, because so much of the Middle East has drastically changed, arguably for the worse. Let's see. So I'm at half full for the true adventure. Here's another thing that this dome seems very recognizable from the Lego Star Wars series. So the idea of reusing content is heavily recommended in the development of Lego games. That was a cool puzzle, cool gimmick. But it also allows them to make more Lego games in a shorter amount of time than most video game producers would have been. That being said, what does that matter if, at least for a PC player, more than half of the games are going to be buggy and unacceptably ported? I guess. And see, PC players are still very much getting the short end of the stick with Lego games, because Lego Dimensions, which has been out for 2 years now, has never ported that game to PC. So the big thing they're interested in doing, that has several story modes now, like 3 story mode expansions and several level expansions and several character pack expansions, that adds up to probably something close to 75 to 100 extra things you can add on to the game in the form of actual physical DLC and buying minifigs with RFID chips on them. None of that is playable by a PC only player. Here we have another thing that was in Lego Star Wars, where you could punch the walls that are in front of you. They eventually got away from this because it just kind of blocks the vision path. The interesting thing here is on the default settings. So far we haven't gotten it to lock up. So maybe by default settings, and only default settings, the game runs. It'd be a little strange that 768 is the resolution though, because I don't think that's what the 360 or the PlayStation 3 or any of the old consoles really did, nor do I think it's what the new consoles do. So it seems kind of like an arbitrary pick. Here we have another example of the physics engine just not working. Like, he's supposed to be able to jump there. There's no way anybody could argue that the game meant for it to give you trouble and then all of a sudden just work. At 100% he was supposed to have made that jump. Right, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to come over here and build the platform first. Now to get up over there and get that collectible, I think you need somebody with a bazooka gun. And so you just get halfway here. And so, like, if we come back here to video settings and turn it to this, does that fix it? Like, he can... Like, you can jump. And you're supposed to... You're not even supposed to jump here. It's ridiculous. Like, put it down, I suppose. I suppose you have to maybe pick up the item and then come over here and then put down the item, which then breaks it, and see when it's broken and you're not carrying it, you can move fine. This is almost like some tricky, like, speedrun version of playing through this game as you're sitting here trying to figure out a way to get the game to work. Like, we may have actually found the game-breaking bug. Just completely no go. What if we instead had Indy come on. Take this. Seems like you can put it on not the bridge but the ground next to the bridge. But see, your partner doesn't hold on to the item. This is ridiculous. This is totally ridiculous. And in fact, this may just be the end of this entire series. I mean, I can't play the game. I cannot literally play the game. And because I can't play the game, I can't go forward. And so you can't even walk backwards. Try using the D-pad. And then we get another lockup. Well, this is ridiculous, and this is a shame. This is a real shame, because I want to play this game, but I guess the only thing I can do is we're going to have to take a break here, and let's see. All progress is lost if you exit, so you can't do anything with that. I'm going to have to end the recording here, and then we'll come back in the next recording and we'll find out if we can even move forward on this series, or if this is going to be an incredibly short series of just 3 episodes. And I mean, I'd already said don't play Lego games on PC, but this one in particular is proving to be actually impossible. We've struggled through other ones, but wow. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this recording. I'll start back, I suppose, right in this general vicinity in the next recording with the lowest resolutions and everything turned off. Or I'll try it a couple of ways. I suppose what I'll do is I'll reset everything to defaults, which, okay, and then restart the program, and that'll be 760 by 780. If I run into any trouble playing the game, getting back to this specific spot, then I will lower it to 800 by 600 with all the features turned off. It's very consistently not working. Very, very consistently. That's it for this recording. We'll get at least one more recording out of this. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, go down to the description. At the bottom, there's a bunch of social media links. Click those and follow and friend me on all of those also. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.